I'm Noah.
And I'm Marci.
We grew up watching Disney Channel, and every few months, a new Disney Channel original movie, or DCOM, would be released.
Since we were kids, we used to love spending those evenings getting snacks and watching new, sometimes relatable movies on our favorite channel.
Well, now we're not really kids anymore, but we thought that we could revisit our younger selves by rewatching all 110 DCOMs, and we want you to join us for the nostalgia.
So, every Friday, we will be sitting down to discuss our thoughts and feelings on the DCOM of the week. So join us, the DCOM kids, as we discuss Cadet Kelly.
Boom, boom. We're getting good at this. Not that, because I just came up with that. It is a little hard to reach. So here we go this way. We go boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Anywho, welcome to DCOM Kids, everyone. Today, my beautiful wife has graciously offered to switch cameras for us, so I don't have to worry about it this time.
Yes.
She waves, by the way.
She says hi.
She says hi. Yes, it's a little bit easier to focus on just reading and not reading and switching and then trying to find my place. We'll see if that makes any difference. And I brought my my old goggles out, so hopefully the old man can see today. I gotta hold on one second. I'll get my glasses on.
Quite fit between your head and the.
Well, they fit between my headphones and the head. It's just I can't slide them on while the headphones are on. Gotcha. Right on. Well, this week Marci and I rewatched Cadet Kelly.
Yes.
And this movie brought back a lot of memories for me.
All the memories, yeah.
Both just from childhood, but also from, I guess it is also childhood, but younger experiences, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a big part of my life for a long time, and that was when I served. I volunteered with the Civil Air Patrol. We were volunteers, even though we paid them hundreds of dollars a year to do it. Volunteering.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Civil Air Patrol is the United States Air Force Auxiliary. Basically, you can start at the age of 12, and you learn customs and courtesies of the United States Air Force, as well as aerospace. You learn aerospace education and some leadership skills. And I served in that from the time that I was 12 until I think I was 18 or 19 when I think I was 19, almost 20 when I stopped.
Yeah, when you stepped down.
And the main reason is because I switched. There's two different sides of Civil Air Patrol. There's the cadet side, which is the younger group, and then there's the senior member side, which is the older people who are actually really running the show. And once you turn 18, between 18 and 21, you can transition into the senior member side. I believe. I could be slightly wrong about that. I don't fully remember, but I'm pretty sure it's between 18 and 21. You can switch over to the senior member side, and I decided to do it at 19, and I really regret doing that. And that was the main reason that I quit when I did, is because I lost out on all of the cadet benefits, and
it wasn't as much fun.
It was not as much fun. But anyway, so my favorite thing in that was I started the honor guard. I started the color guard, and I co-started the honor guard for the squadron that I was in back in 2016, probably, maybe 15. No, it was before I graduated.
Yeah, so it was probably 2015.
Well, I started the color guard in 2013. The honor guard, I think we started in 2014 or 2015. Anyway, so a lot of the things in this movie hit close to home for me, and brought back floods of memories from those days, flipping rifles and doing fun drill exercises and all that kind of stuff. So there was simultaneously things that I really loved and things that really made me mad.
That bothered you.
There were things that drove me up the wall watching this. But we'll get into all that. I want to interject as we go along. As there's things that you have written about, I will point out whether or not it irked me.
There's a couple parts where I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't fully remember, because I was in Civil Air Patrol for I think I went to 3 meetings. That's all I did. Yeah, because it wasn't my thing.
That's fair.
But
I will stipulate by saying the drill and ceremonies that they are doing in this is United States Army drill and ceremonies, which can differ from United States Air Force drill and ceremonies. However, there are some things that are universal.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll get into that.
Because there's things that maybe you point out, and I'm like, well, in the Army, that is what they do.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Air Force, that is not what you do, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I may not be able to comment. Okay. Right. Without any further ado, let's get talking about Cadet Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This was released in 2002. Written by Gail Parent and Michael Walsh. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cast. Hilary Duff played Kelly Jocelyn Collins, the only character titled who has not just a first name, but a first and last name. But not just a first and last name, a first, last, and middle name. No one else even has
Nobody else has
a
two
middle
names.
name. Not even a middle, not even a last.
Yeah,
nothing.
It's just their first name.
Wild.
Next, we have Christy Carlson Romano, who played Jennifer.
First of all, two heavy-hitting actresses.
Oh, yeah.
To start off our cast here. I remember this being like a huge deal because it was like two of the biggest stars on Disney Channel at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Hilary Duff from
Lizzie
McGuire and Christy Carlson Romano from Even Stevens.
Even Stevens and Kim Possible.
And Kim Possible, yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Then Sean Ashmore played Brad.
For the longest time, I thought it was Chad Michael Murray who played him.
Fair.
It wasn't until I looked at the cast list recently, I was like, oh.
That's fair.
I don't know why. Anyway, Amy Garcia, who played Gloria.
Andrea Lewis played Carla.
Gary Cole played Sir.
Sarah Gadden played Amanda, who I'm not actually sure who that is.
It's Kelly's best friend.
Oh, I thought she was before that. I just realized that. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm on board. Go ahead.
Yeah. Linda Cash played Samantha.
Collins, I assume.
Yeah.
I don't know whose name she has. I don't know if it's her dad's or her mom's. Well, she would be... whatever.
I think she has her dad's.
Yeah, I think you're right. That is Kelly's mom. And then Nigel Hammer played Adam, Kelly's father.
The movie was directed by Larry Shaw.
The music was put together and curated by David Cadet.
Cinematography by Frank Byers.
And editing was done by Anita Brandit. Oh, my. Burgoyne.
Hey, we actually did it
something
properly
like
so that now I'm the next one to talk and it's the Disney Plus summary.
Sometimes it works out
Sometimes it works out like that. Okay. Disney Plus summary. Hilary Duff stars as Kelly Collins in an artistic, fashion-minded teen who's forced to go from flashy fab to olive drab. Okay, I see.
Because it's
it's army.
Olive greens is what they called their uniforms.
Got it. Flashy fab to olive drab at her new stepdad's military academy. As the clumsiest, most clueless recruit ever to botch basic training, Kelly seems to be fighting an uphill battle to fit in. But it's all-out war when she butts heads with Cadet Captain Stone, Christy Carlson Romano, a tough-as-nails, by-the-book commanding officer, determined to break her spirit. See how once carefree Kelly keeps it together amidst endless rules and regulations to win Stone's respect and still manage to leave her own unique mark on the school.
That is probably one of the most wordy Disney Plus
it really is.
Summaries we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
We jump into our scene by scene. We start with a banger of a song from Super Chick.
Yes.
Throw that part in there. Yes. As we meet Kelly and her friend Amanda performing a dance with ribbons for a school project. Kelly sees her dad, Adam, walking on a wall, waiting to pick her up as she explains she will be making a home movie for her family project. Then we cut to her very 2000s home video camera, and we hear all the wonderful places her dad will be traveling to for his job as a wildlife or landscape photographer. Next, we see Kelly and her dad and her mom, Samantha's...
At her mom.
Kelly... Okay, sorry, I ran that together and it didn't... Okay. Next, we see Kelly and her dad at her mom, Samantha's office. With Kelly bouncing around and getting the camera right up in her mom's face, she jumps back and forth between mom and dad, narrating their divorce and how it was a gentle split. And then she bumps into a precisely placed fishbowl, and although they had plenty of time to run over and stop it, the fishbowl falls to the ground and smashes. I literally had the same exact thought. I was like, why are we watching this thing dramatically Whoa.
The amount of time that they're going, oh, no. They could have just gone over and stopped it.
It was really, and the funny thing is, she bumps it and immediately runs 40 feet across the hallway instead of turning around and catching it. Whatever.
That part's always bothered me. Always.
Then there's a flight and a fight. Oh my gosh.
Fight or flight.
Thank you. Yes. Fight or say it
fight
again.
Or flight.
Response, and she definitely has a flight. She's gone.
Yes, she was out of there. Did you know there's a third one? It's called dough. That's where you freeze.
Mm-hmm. Is that you?
Yeah. Okay. Back at their very large Manhattan apartment, Kelly is comforted by her mother about the breaking of the fishbowl, and how it's not a big deal. And she did save all of the fish because every fish's life is sacred. Then, after promising to slow down and there will be no more breaking of anything again, we hear a knock at the door and we meet Joe. And as he and her mom are kissing, Kelly has her camera all in their faces, and just as Joe turns his head, bam, he hits his nose on the apparently very thick camera lens and cuts his nose open.
I mean, no way he hit his nose hard enough on that camera to make it bleed.
No, not like they made it seem. No.
That was crazy. Then, as they are sitting down for dinner, Kelly is going on and on about how much her mom is in love with Joe, and that is when. That is when. Why am I wearing the glasses? It doesn't even matter anymore. That is when they tell her that they are going to settle down and get married. But when Kelly misunderstands, they tell her they're already planning a summer wedding, to which Kelly approves of, saying her mom needs the stability that he brings. And then she asks him, can she call him what she can call him, and he suggests Joe or Sir. And so she chooses Sir, Mom, and Sir.
Which I felt that was weird, but
it was weird.
Anyway, then I'm assuming it's a few weeks later, but we see Joe and Sam talking about the big day being tomorrow. And Sam confesses she hasn't told Kelly about the big news. So while Sam and Kelly are spending their last day as single women shopping, Sam breaks the news to her about Joe getting a new job and how they will be moving upstate, to which Kelly freaks out over. And she also learns that she will be going to a new school that Joe will be working at, a military school. Kelly tries to convince her mom that she could stay in the city with Amanda, but she obviously has to go.
Next thing we know, Kelly is in her room with Amanda packing her things to move. No matter how many times they say she's not going, she's only 14 or 15 and unfortunately doesn't really have a choice. Next, we see Kelly arriving at the George Washington Military Academy, and we see her make her way to the barracks, where we meet Carla and the others complaining about their new squadron leader, Jennifer Stone, a strict, by-the-book 16-year-old captain. As she enters, everyone is lined up except for Kelly, who is putting her blanket on her bed, even though Carla warned her not to. Captain Stone stops and takes the blanket and warns Kelly that she is on her list. There's a lot of S's right in a row there.
Yeah.
Sounded like I was trying to get attention of a cat over here.
Now Callie, that was one of our cat's names, Callie.
It was, that's funny.
Now Kelly has it set in her mind that she needs to change this school. So the next morning, as she is awoken with the traditional trumpet, and she rushes... So, go ahead, say it again.
Reveille.
Thank you. I was going to put it in the notes and I forgot. And she rushes to join everyone in line. She has on a scarf and tons of bracelets, but Carla tells her to take them off, so she stuffs them in her beret, which, after being confronted by Captain Stone and salutes her, her hat flies off, and all the bracelets with it. Then Carla volunteers to teach Kelly about all of the rules and regulations. First lesson being zip it and listen.
The thing that I found really funny about that scene is she stuffs all that in her beret. Yeah. And it's like obviously not sitting on her head right because there's crap in there.
Yeah.
But then she salutes where you don't even touch the beret.
And it just...
And it flies off of her head like it was spring-loaded.
Yeah. There's even like a spring-loaded sound.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They're like boing kind of sound.
Yeah.
That's funny. As Kelly and Carla are walking and discussing the rules, we see Captain Stone and Gloria watching the boys, more specifically Brad, as he is working on drills with his squadron. After Carla tells Kelly about the welcome back dance, we see Jennifer casually making her way over to ask Brad to go with her. Kelly interferes and stops him with a salute first, to which Captain Stone is visibly upset over.
Next, we see Kelly entering a classroom where everyone is standing at attention waiting for their teacher, but Kelly sits down. And once she notices everyone else standing, she then stands right as the teacher enters and everyone else sits. Obviously a perfectly timed moment that would only further show how much she is not fitting in. Then we see everyone finishing a test, to which Kelly informs her teacher that she didn't get anything right and continues to talk about how her old school only had them do math if they wanted to, and they didn't even have to sit at a desk to take any tests. Seems like a very loose school.
She's like, sometimes when she was talking about her school, I'm like, I feel like the term school here is used very loosely.
Very loosely. It's just a building that your parents sent you to.
Yeah. Later at the barracks, we see a few of the girls showing off their dresses for the dance. When Kelly notices Carla is upset and... there's a period there that maybe doesn't need to be there. That's why I'm reading that weird, right? Okay.
Yep.
So Kelly sees Carla and notices she's upset and asks her to go on the walk. Okay, that's what happens.
That's what happens. I'm sorry, that was
where they see a drill team practicing. When they bump into Joe, Sir, and inform him that they are going home to pick out a dress for the dance. And as he is walking away, Kelly yells, "Bye, Joe," and then she explains to Carla that he is her stepdad.
The next day, we see Kelly going through boot camp training, and we see her face plant into the mud, jumping through tires, climbing up and over obstacles, and crawling under wires, all while Captain Stone is yelling at her and occasionally being distracted by Brad. Then she faces her final challenge, rappelling down a wall with a rope. Then, after finally making it down the wall, Captain Stone tells her she will be running the course with Sergeant Gloria Ramos until she gets it right, even though she will be missing the dance. While running the course, it begins to rain, and then, as Kelly is trying the wire crawl, Gloria takes pity on her and gives her some tips on how to properly army crawl.
Then, after Kelly officially completes the course, Ramos lets her go to the dance. But just as she is at the top of the hill, she takes a step and almost comically somersaults down the hill into the ballroom, missing everyone except for Jennifer, who is wearing a beautiful white dress and gets mud all over her. And everyone laughs and cheers for Kelly, which I know Jennifer is tough, but that was rude from everyone else, right? No, you're right. No, you're right. Because I'm like, guys, this is like that's wild. Everybody's laughing.
Even Brad who she's standing laughing next to.
And I'm like, first of all, how did all of you guys get missed by that?
Mm-hmm.
That seemed like it was like all of them were like, guys, she's falling down the hill. When she comes to the door, just everybody split.
That's how it felt.
Don't tell Stone. Then Sir calls Kelly to his office, where he tells her that he is not happy with her behavior the first week of school, and her teachers are finding her lack of discipline to be quote-unquote problematic.
After talking with Joe, Kelly is walking home and calls her dad, but he didn't answer. Then at home, Kelly is going to tell her mom that she can't stay at the academy, but her mom tells her that they're going to have a baby, and surprises her with a new art kit to use for painting the new baby's room. And of course, with this news, Kelly decides not to tell her mother about wanting to leave the academy. The next morning, during inspections, Kelly has her blanket hidden under her pillow, and when Jennifer finds it, she tears it up right in front of everybody. So that night, Kelly retaliates by taking the paints from her new art kit and painting Jennifer's hair.
Wild. Later, we see Kelly tackling the course and facing her fear, exceptionally repelling down the wall. where Captain Stone is waiting for her with a court-martial. While Joe and Sam are discussing Kelly going to the cadet court, we see Kelly in classic DCOM style, sitting on the stairs, listening in, and hears Joe fear that Kelly could cause him to lose his dream job, and then leaves to go to for a walk. Samantha comforts Kelly, and tells her she will have to apologize.
Next, as we are in cadet court, where Captain Stone is listing off all the rules that Kelly has broken, including dress code, to which Brad requests her to remove her hat to show the evidence of the painted hair. As they're deliberating for all of 20 seconds, they find Kelly guilty and send her to the commandant's office for immediate sentencing, which Joe's punishment is to sentence her to the drill team as equipment manager, keeping uniforms orderly, polishing boots and brass, maintaining rifles,
guidons,
scabbards, and sabers, hoping she'll learn what the robots are all about.
Yeah, she called them the robots earlier because she thinks it's weird that they carry guns, and she's like, I am very anti-gun. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, first of all, they're
not
plastic.
Real guns.
Second of all, and there is actually a line in there that I really liked personally. Yeah. Before that, I think when they're flipping the guns around and they first see them, Carla and Kelly first see them.
Yes.
Right. And Kelly says, I'm very pro gun control. And then Carla looks and says, around here, that is gun control.
Yes, I did like that line too.
I thought it was good.
That was good.
All right. Next, we see Kelly in the equipment's room getting the rundown of what she's supposed to do. As she starts polishing boots, she starts singing about how she starts singing her own cadence. Okay,
is that
called
the right
Jody's?
word?
But yeah,
I was gonna text you and I forgot.
Her own Jody to the tune of I don't know, but I've been told Jennifer's hair is painted gold. She's so mean, she hardly breathes. I'll be happy when she leaves. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know, but I've been told Jennifer's heart is
cold as ice.
No, she says, I don't know, but I've been told Jennifer's heart is mighty cold. That's when Brad walks in and says, how cold? And he goes, so cold. And she goes, how cold? And she goes, ice cold.
Yeah. Okay, I got those mixed up.
That's okay. Just as Brad walks in and shows Kelly the best way to shine a shoe is a classic spit shine. Apparently better than any polish. No. Yuck.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Next, as Kelly is shining boots and watching the drill team practice, she finally understood why it was important for the team and Joe. What?
To Joe and the rest of the academy. Why? Understands why the drill team is important to Joe and the rest of the academy.
Thank you. Why the drill team was important to Joe and the rest of the academy. Thank you. Later, Kelly asks Carla if she will help. Oh, that's actually not true. It's not Carla. No. Yes. Okay. Sorry.
You're good.
I skipped ahead in my brain. Later, Kelly asks Carla if she will help her out with the equipment, and then invites her over for dinner and a sleepover. The next day at the competition, Jennifer is trying to clip her belt when it breaks, but Kelly comes to the rescue with a quick spare and the competition begins. As they execute their routine in perfect rhythm and timing, Kelly is super intrigued when the other team comes out with an unarmed routine, which is kind of like Stomp, but for military. Do you know what Stomp is?
I know that it's a musical, but that's about as far as that goes for me.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, no. They're the percussion group.
Yes, they're the percussion group that they only use... You did some of it with Mrs. Mann.
They don't use any traditional percson instruments. They use it's random stuff like brooms and
and it's mostly them they're stomping and clapping. And, so it's like that.
But I was also really confused as to why.
What do you mean?
I don't know what that whole thing is all about. I couldn't figure it out.
Stomp?
No. Like the unarmed portion of the competition where they're dancing.
I think it was just like a little entertainment.
I guess, but why?
I don't know.
I'm like, what does this have to do with that? I don't know.
To keep everybody intrigued with it, because some people don't.
I don't know. I like the other parts. The other parts are better. Are we here to entertain, or are we just trying to compete? I don't know.
Both.
I guess. All right. After losing the competition, Kelly decides to try and cheer up Brad with a silly routine. And she talks Gloria into training her so she can join the drill team. And we get sent into a rifle flipping montage, ending with Kelly trying out for the team. The next morning, Kelly is so excited to find out if she made the team that she slept in her uniform and jumps right out of bed and down to the boards. But before she can look at the sheet, she is summoned to the commandant's office once again, where Joe tells her that she has made the drill team and how proud of her he is. There's a scene. Sorry, I was going to cut back to it. I forgot that I was going to do it before I got it here because there's that moment when they're in the competition and we talked about this before we started. I can't remember the name of the other school again. Rahway. The Rahway commander gets the rifle thrown at him and then he just starts flipping it around his hand really, really fast.
Yes.
I used to be able to do that.
Yes.
And I was watching it and I was like, oh, I wish I could still do that. Yeah. I don't think I can.
I have
my practice rifle in the garage, so I could
Why not?
Try it. But I don't
take
think
it into the backyard where nobody can see you.
Right. I feel
just
like
try
I can't do it.
a couple flips.
But what it's made me want to do, and this is so stupid and silly, but I think I'm going to try to do it, but I'm going to need a couple friends. I'm going to form so stupid. I am going to form a Star Wars Imperial color guard.
Okay.
Where it's like drill and ceremonies, but it's like as if we were the Empire from Star Wars.
You're such a nerd.
I am. I'm going to do it because I think it'd be so fun. Anyway, I read my whole thing. Now it's your turn.
After learning she has made the team, Kelly tells Joe that it was a good idea for him to have sentenced her to the drill team because she learned a lot. But now it's his turn to learn some things from her. When the baby arrives, they won't be able to salute or shake hands, and they will need to be held a lot. Or they tend to yell. After leaving Joe's office, Kelly makes her way to the drill team lockers, where she sees the drill team uniforms and one with her name on it.
Later, we see Jennifer in the yard working on some choreography for the unarmed portion, and Kelly decides to join her, and we get a jazzy montage of the two of them dance battling it out. And Brad decides he loves what they've come up with and puts it into the exhibition portion of the regionals. Later, after class, Kelly decides to talk to Jennifer about their routine, and they're finally cordial with each other.
I'm realizing my brain mixes up sentences so bad. Because that's like every paragraph you have to like flip a couple of the words around to make the sentence make sense. But it made sense when I wrote it.
That's okay. It's fine.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And the funny thing is that I've actually had this for like 3 days now, probably more. Roughly 3 days. I could have edited it at any time, and I didn't. That's
true. You're better at just like on the spot editing.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. The next night, Adam comes over for dinner and tells Kelly that he has a photography job shooting at Rock Ridge Point, meaning he will be able to see Kelly at the drill team competition. As they arrive at Hudson's Military Institute, Brad meets Joe and tells him they're going to knock their socks off this year because they have a secret weapon this time. As he is talking to Kelly, she sees Amanda and introduces her as her best and truest friend, which upsets Carla.
First of all, for what? For what?
For what?
She got so hurt by that.
I know.
And I'm like, you really thought she came to this school without having any friends other than you?
Yeah.
Like, you're the first friend she's ever made? Like, I get that you're, like, she may very well be your first friend, but, like...
Right.
That you should not. She got so upset about it. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Later, after answering drill questions and demonstrating formations, Brad reports perfect 10s across the board, and then we hear Kelly's phone ringing, causing everyone to doubt her dedication, stating that it would have ruined everything if it had gone off during inspections.
Which I also am calling BS on, because the whole time she's standing in formation, she kept staring around in the stands looking for her dad.
Yeah.
in formation at attention. They weren't paying any attention to her. She could have done anything.
Yeah, once she did like the formation, like the demonstration thing, and he walked away, she was like,
honestly, I'm like, she's no longer at attention. That would have failed them immediately.
Yeah.
Like, the phone ringing wouldn't have mattered because obviously nothing else does.
Yeah.
There's several things that she does that. Basically, anytime. I don't think there was any moment when she was in formation in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Where she was not making a face or looking around.
Yeah. Which is
for those of you watching, if you are in formation and you are standing at attention as they were, you do not move. You blink and breathe. That's it.
Maybe blink.
Yeah. Like your
Depends
eyes.
on how strict your people are.
They always tell you, like, when your eyes are locked forward, but you're not looking at the person in front of you. You're not looking at the back of the person's head in front of you. You are looking through the person in front of you.
Yeah.
You are burning holes through them to look at whatever is beyond them.
Yeah.
You're looking 5 miles ahead of you is what you're supposed to be doing. You don't move. You blink and breathe.
Yeah.
You don't even pass gas when you're standing at attention. I'm telling you. You don't move. You got to sneeze.
Yeah. Good luck.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, that drove me up the wall. It drove me crazy. Just before going out for the team portion, while getting a pep talk from Commandant Maxwell, Joe notices Kelly looks upset and learns that Adam isn't there. And we get a heart-to-heart, and Joe tells Kelly that the team will manage without her, and they will leave to find her dad. Why, though, did he not tell anyone? Why didn't he go tell? Right. He says, Major whatever Brad will
we'll drop down to 3.
We'll drop down to 3 elements. They can handle it.
Yeah.
But then they just leave.
And then they just
tell him that first.
Yeah.
Because it leads to what I'm about to say next. I'm sure. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Okay, it's not in here, but I'll put it in there. Once they make it to Rock Ridge Point, Kelly sees her dad's camera bag and lens over the cliff and leans over the cliff and sees him laying off the ledge. So she rappels down to the mountain to help with the help of Sir so they can rescue her dad. Once they get him back up the mountain, Joe finally gives her a hug.
Back at the competition, George Washington Military Academy is down by 5 points, and Brad is really relying on Jennifer and Kelly to make up for it and win this thing. So we go into their routine with for us at least. Okay, yeah. The banger from the beginning, One Girl Revolution. And of course, they perform amazingly with ribbons and everything, which this is where I was like, correct me if I'm wrong. Are ribbons allowed?
I couldn't tell you because I don't even know what they're doing.
Okay.
They clearly didn't get docked for it, so I guess it must be fine. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, we're finally at the awards with 3rd place going to Thomas Jefferson High School, and
the
then
Navy boys.
Yes. And then the gold goes to by 1 point Rahway High School.
The Marine Corps boys.
And the George Washington Military Academy takes the silver.
And I was deeply offended that there was no Air Force representation in the whole movie.
Yeah.
What was that? I don't even think that the dude I don't think that there was even like a team at the regionals that was supposed
I think
to
there
be
was
Air
a
Force.
Flag.
I don't know. I'll have to
but
look again.
I think that's the only thing.
I saw 2 different Marine Corps uniforms. I saw 2 different Navy uniforms and 2 different Army uniforms. I didn't see any blues. There was no dress blues.
Yeah.
Well, Air Force dress blues.
Yeah.
That bummed me out. Anyway. Oh, it's my turn to talk. Yep. After awards, Kelly is trying to take the blame for placing second, saying, "If I hadn't," but Jennifer cuts her off with, "If you hadn't joined the team, we wouldn't have gotten this far." And then Kelly goes in for a hug, and Jennifer tells her that her father got transferred to Europe, so she will be moving. But she hopes Kelly will become a platoon leader one day. And we finish with a final salute to General Joe Maxwell, where they all were carrying their rifles and they render what's called an present arms, which is where they snap their rifles directly straight out in front of them. And that's the version of saluting when you're carrying a rifle to someone you respect.
Yes.
Then they call order arms, which is where they go with the rifle from the front of them down to the side of them, and they stand there at attention.
Yes.
At that point, Kelly takes the rifle and moves it to her left hand, which you don't do.
To do the salute.
And salutes him. She's at attention. Don't move. Drives me nuts. There's also a moment, and it's actually in the like cover photo for the movie, where Stone and whatever Brad's name is are saluting with their right hand, which is the correct hand to salute with, and Kelly in the photo on the cover is using her left hand.
Yeah, which is absolutely
history
wrong.
Lesson for you guys. Y'all want to know why you salute with your right hand?
Do tell.
Fun fact. So back in medieval times, the knights would carry their swords on their left hip because being left-handed back then was a sin, and you'd be beheaded or converted.
Yes.
Right? So you always had your sword on your left hip, and you would draw across your body with your right hand.
Yes.
The reason you would salute, there's two reasons. Number one, you raise your right hand, proving that you are not reaching for your sword, so you have no intention to harm them. And the other reason is to raise up your visor. That's why it goes specifically where it does, instead of just being like out to the side like this. They go up to the here.
Yes.
Like the Royal Army or whatever, military salutes like this. And that's because they would push up the visor on their eyes so they could make direct eye contact with the people they were passing on their horses. Right?
Well, there you go.
Basically the same thing in the United States. We took that same tradition, except we bring it up differently. Yeah. Basically the same thing. It's also to the edge of the eyebrow. This is one of those things where it's like, I'm pretty sure this is universal across the board. Yeah. But this may be one of those things that's slightly different between branches. So that's why I didn't mention anything about the salutes. But the salutes in the Air Force are your arm here is parallel to the ground, right? Your hand is about, 30, like 45 degrees. Right? With your middle finger at the tip of your eyebrow. Yeah. Okay? And your wrist is completely straight. Your whole one line all the way up, right?
Yes.
They kept saluting like this, where their arms would be like, you know, that like I'm a child saluting thing.
I think that was just the whole thing is just like that
was one of the things that just drove me crazy.
Yeah, no.
But they would be taught correctly how to do it. If they're in a military academy that is this serious and this
strict,
they would be saluting with snap precision every single time.
And like when Kelly and Carla are first talking, like she's like, you can tell everybody's rank by their lapels or their stars.
Oh, she says by their chevrons.
Yes, chevrons.
The only people whose ranks you can tell by their chevrons are the lower level people.
Yes.
The NCOs and below.
Yeah.
Which NCO is a non-commissioned officer. That's going to be your sergeant, depending on the branch. I can't tell you Army ranks off the top of my head. Yeah. But I can tell you Air Force because, you know, that was my jam. I was going to go into the Air Force.
Yeah.
I didn't because I met a beautiful woman and I love her a lot. And I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. Yeah. Brain, catch up. Where were we?
And she like tells her that you salute everybody, and then Kelly just like
she just goes around and starts throwing up salutes. I was
like, she's like, they don't even care that I'm saluting them. I was like, because you're doing it wrong. They think you're
deeply offended.
They think you're an insane person right now. Probably. Anyway,
go ahead and say that thing because I'm griping about that
here's
too.
Here's my last thing on the notes, and that is Cadet Kelly. Fun fact, Brad is the only one who ever says the title of the movie, and he says it exactly 3 times throughout the entire movie.
And you know what?
The end.
He never should have. Not one time should the name of this movie have been uttered.
It should have been Cadet Collins.
Exactly.
The entire time.
No one should have ever called her Cadet Kelly.
Yeah.
Unless they were saying Cadet Kelly Collins.
Yeah. The only time that I will maybe accept it is when she's trying to cheer him up, and there's one point in the locker room after drill team.
Yeah.
And he says, "You make me laugh, Cadet Kelly."
Yeah, that's
like the only time that it's like that's kind of okay. Because it's not in a serious situation.
But even then, he's a major.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine. Forget about it.
Anyway.
I finished watching this movie and I was like, man, I love and I hate this movie. I really love and hate this movie because there was moments where I was like, man, I really miss being in Civil Air Patrol. Yeah. I really miss Honor Guard and Color Guard and all that stuff. And then there's moments where I'm like, I want to break this TV right now.
Like,
I can't stand watching
so
them
many
do this.
Rules.
Oh,
Oh my God.
She drops that rifle so many times.
Yeah.
And that hurt my soul because dropping the rifle is like big no. That is like the ultimate, like the only thing worse than dropping your rifle is just telling the commander to go
away.
Yes.
To go away.
To go away. Yeah. That's about as bad as it gets. To the extent where when I was training people and when I was being trained on color guard and stuff, if you dropped the rifle, you stopped everything and you did 10 push-ups.
Yep.
Then you picked up your rifle and you carried on.
Yep.
Anytime you dropped your rifle, 10 push-ups.
10 push-ups.
Doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which was really funny because one time it happened when we were getting ready for a parade.
Oh, God.
One of my cadets dropped his rifle and we were getting ready to start. And I said, you better drop and give me the fastest 10 push-ups you've ever done in your life.
That's so funny.
I don't think I would have made him do it whilst we were marching. But
that
because we hadn't started, I'd just be like, oh, no. I'd be like,
just like have him
fall
walk
out,
in a plank.
get your butt over there, drop and give me 10.
Scare everybody in the crowd.
I really miss marching in parades.
I think you miss yelling at people. I'm just kidding.
Anywho, what was your favorite scene in this movie?
Probably when after it's so bad, but after she paints Jennifer's hair and she's like walking through
and she slowly starts moving faster
like,
and faster.
Yeah, she's like, oh, it's just a normal morning, I'm gonna go look in the mirror, and she hears everybody laughing. She's like, what is everybody laughing at?
Yeah,
just like that moment.
I don't know why. One of the things that makes me cringe the most is right before that when she wakes up and puts her boots on without socks. Now I realized she was just walking to the loo, but still I was like, yeah, you wear those boots.
I know, I can't wear
like all day, every day.
Like sandals are one thing to wear without socks.
Sure,
that's one thing.
Yeah, because they can breathe. You know, you don't have to worry about stuff.
Tennis shoes.
You don't know what's growing inside of those.
Anything that is a closed-toed shoe,
nasty.
Please have some sort of
nasty.
Yeah, please.
Yuck. Anywho, my favorite scene, and this is unfortunate, but my favorite scene was watching the Rahway team. Sorry, the Roswell, New Mexico. You know those guys. The Rahway team and their first.
Yeah.
Like during the exhibition, not the exhibition, the practice.
Practice, yeah.
With them before they actually go to regionals.
Yeah.
Because I was watching it and I was like, these kids, like I think the ones from George Washington are the same way. Like they got kids who were actually in the ROTC and did it.
Yeah.
But like the Marine, like as much as I don't love the Marines, guys, I'll be honest. But as much as I'm like, the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
They have probably the cleanest drill and ceremonies of any branch.
Yeah. And
I was so impressed watching them do it in this movie where I'm like, these kids that are like, cause they're like high school kids in the movie even. And I'm like, these kids are amazing at this.
They're good.
It's so good. And I'm a sucker for drill and ceremonies.
Yeah.
Honor guard specifically.
Yeah. I did enjoy,
so
I enjoyed that too.
I'm sorry. Like George Washington's was okay, but like, I really loved the Rahway one because especially when he's like the leader is like marching across the front and then they throw the rifle out into his hand and it just snaps out of nowhere and boom, I'm like, oh my gosh, good.
It's so good. Yeah.
Like there was one maneuver that I did.
Maneuver
that I did when I did an honor guard performance that a friend of mine and I choreographed together, and I don't remember what we called it, but it was a tribute to fallen soldiers. And one of the moments, and this is one of the only times we've ever broken the dropped rifle rule, and it was because it was in respect and representation of fallen soldiers.
Yes.
So there's this one moment where him and I, it was just me and one other dude throwing rifles back and forth and stuff, but mostly facing each other, spinning, tossing, you know.
Yeah.
Then there's this one moment where we're facing each other, we stop, and then he drops his rifle behind him, and it falls to the ground. And he does an about face, which is where you turn around, right? He bends down, grabs the rifle by the neck, and then chucks it up over his head.
And you catch it?
And I catch it while at the same time throwing the rifle in my hand into his, so he's throwing with his left hand over his head to my left hand, while at the same time I'm grabbing the rifle with my right hand and chucking it over his shoulder to land in his right hand.
Whoa, that's
It was
cool.
the coolest maneuver I've ever done, and what makes me mad? I don't think a video exists of it.
Oh, that is unfortunate, sir.
Yeah, I don't remember if you were there. It was one of our dining outs. I don't remember if you were there or not. Mom was there. She can attest to it.
Maybe she has a video.
No.
Oh.
No, I asked her. There might be one video of it, but I don't know. Yeah. I'll see if I can hunt it down. But anywho, so that was my favorite scene. Watching Rodway's drill was my favorite scene in the whole movie. Yeah,
I will say all of the drill sequences are probably
I love the drill sequences. Really good. I loved it. What's your least favorite scene?
Least favorite, just because like it seemed unnecessary. Maybe you have different thoughts, but when she sees the blanket under the pillow, and she just like pulls it out and rips it, I was like, I kind of understand, but
I mean, I have mixed feelings about that scene myself.
Yeah.
Because mainly because she gave her. The first time she says, I don't want to see it in my barracks again. Yeah. That's a simple order. Simple. Yeah. Her house is on the premises of the school. Just leave it at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I from what I understand, it's a blanket from her dad.
Should have kept it out of the barracks.
This is where the non-military comes in. Because, I feel for her on that side.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't.
All that she had to do was take it away from her. She didn't have to destroy it in front of her. That's what I'm saying.
I guess, but I feel like it kind of, I don't know.
That's just
reinforces the point. Like, hey, this is my barracks.
Yeah.
I told you I didn't want to see this in here again. You brought it in here again. This is what happens when you disobey direct orders.
But, okay.
I'm going to be honest. I don't feel bad for her because all she had to do was leave it at home that she can walk to. Yeah. It's not that far.
Okay. What's your least favorite scene? Probably the ribbon dance at the very end.
No, actually, it's not.
Okay.
I think my least favorite scene, maybe not my least favorite scene. I don't know. It's a scene that I didn't love, and I don't like it still. And it's when they finish on the ropes course, right? Mm-hmm. And they're all in formation, and the main guy says, is anyone still out there? And everybody says no.
Yep.
And he says, great, go home, have fun, we'll see you at the dance tonight.
Yep.
And then Stone leaves and walks back over, knowing full good and well that Kelly is on top of that, on top of one of them. Yeah. And then she comes back later to court-martial her. And I'm like, you lied to a superior officer. Mm-hmm. That's a court-martialable offense.
Yep.
I get that she's like trying to, if you're not climbing down yourself, then blah, blah, blah. But like the whole army military thing, no man left behind, doesn't matter.
Nope.
It doesn't matter if you're trying to prove a point or not.
Yeah.
You don't tell somebody that there's nobody else out there. Everyone's accounted. Everyone's present. Nobody's left out there. Everyone's here.
Yeah.
I don't know. That made me mad. That irked me so much. Oh, okay. My least favorite scene. Okay. This is my least favorite scene, and I've already talked about it, which is maybe why I wasn't going to. Is when Joe and Kelly decide to go find her dad. Yes. And they don't bother telling anybody. Yeah. It infuriates me. Yeah. Because I'm like, it would not have been that hard.
All he had to do was
say, hey, Major Brad, whatever, we got to go do something.
Yep.
We'll be back.
Yep.
Go down to 3 elements, get through this part. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Because the main reason I think they didn't perform as well as they could have is because they didn't go down to 3 elements until right before they had to do it.
Yeah.
They didn't even have a chance to go, hey, let's go through this once with the 3 elements. Mm-hmm. That makes me so... I hated that part so much. I was like, why? I literally... I was watching it down here. I was going to say, I don't know if I said it to Adriana or not, but I wasn't watching it with her. Mm. But I'm fairly certain I said it audibly down here. Like, why would you not just say something? Both as they left and when they got back. And they were all upset with Kelly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he could have just said something before he left.
Because when they come back, he was like, she left with me, like, blah, blah, blah. Right. I gave her permission to leave. And they're like, okay, I guess we can't be mad at you because you're our boss, but...
Exactly. Tell me ahead of time.
But, they definitely should have told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I'm done.
Go ahead.
I love this movie and I hated this movie.
You give your rating.
I have such mixed feelings about this movie. It's so hard. I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay, I was going to give it a 4
because it's better than. It's definitely like I don't think anything is going to be below a 3. Like everything's going to be 3 or maybe 2.5. I guess middle of the road and better is probably where we're realistically at with every single DCOM. Maybe we've got a couple that we don't remember. When we were going through our list today, we were like, I don't recognize that title. So we may have some things we're different on, but for the most part, I think everything is like 2.5 or better. But this one's definitely a 4.
Yeah.
There's moments that I would take out and I would do differently, and I would move it up to a 5 for certain changes. But I love drill and ceremonies. I love watching it. Yeah. This movie is probably the reason I was so into it when I was doing. Yeah. I'm going to go play with my drill rifle when we're done. Those are the days. I miss that.
It was good times.
Right on. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today on DCOM Kids. We hope you enjoyed it. Share your thoughts on this movie if you have any differing opinions. But remember, be friendly. We're all friends here. We're just chatting. Our opinions are our opinions. Your opinions are your opinions. They don't need to divide us, y'all. Anywho, next week we are watching True Confessions. Which is a movie about a young woman and her brother who is
on the spectrum.
There we go. And played by Shia LaBeouf. So we get 2 Even Stevens characters back to back here. So that will be a good one. I look forward to watching that one again because honestly, I remember like watching it sort of recently and just being like, man, this is kind of hard to watch.
It's a hard one to watch for sure, but it was my favorite. Anytime it was on, I was always watching it.
It was so good though,
because it's so good. Shia LaBeouf does so good, like a little too good. Yeah, but it's also like it reminds me of I can't remember what the movie's called, but there's a movie that Leo DiCaprio is in where he plays a kid on the spectrum too, and he's like he's really good at it. What's eating? What's eating something grape?
Gilbert
Grape.
Yes. That's it.
That's one.
Very good. Very similar like vibes. Not vibes, but like as far as like the acting goes and like how well they do.
Yes.
So looking forward to it. Yeah. We'll have that live. Not live. But available. That'll be next week. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't think I have anything else to add.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Rock and
covered
roll.
Everything.
Yeah. Well, until next time, my dear friends, let the wonder take hold.